stones that you brought here, right?
It's the first color in the world of diamonds that I brought, you know, right after the clear. I said, well, if we're going to sell the best look of diamond, the best cuts of diamonds, if we're going to replicate how perfect diamonds are, then we must include fancy, intense yellow stones, which have been, for the last 7 years, extremely popular. And this is one of the last one that we are going to create for a while, I think. I'm just going to step away a little bit from the fancy yellows. What I love about that stone is that there's a unique story to this. You never see a yellow diamond cut into an Asscher. It's extraordinarily unique. It's very rare because the whole idea of colored stones is that the cutting, the brilliance, brings out the color. If you look at a rough diamond, a yellow rough diamond, it's really not yellow. It doesn't look anything like that. It's the faceting that brings out the color. So typically, yellow diamonds are cut in radiance. They're cut with a lot of facets to create a lot of brilliance and to bring out a lot of color. Only the finest yellow rough diamonds, only the finest, prettiest, most intense stones can be cut into a step cut, whether it be emerald or Asscher. So in essence, I created this ring after I was in a workshop in New York at one of the premier, I mean the only actually diamond cutting workshop in the United States. They cut very, very large diamonds. And that day on the wheel was an AschrCut in yellow. No. And I thought it was so extraordinary, so rare that I had never seen it yet. I was like, well, I should make a ring and tell the story at HSN about how truly, truly unique this is. It's not just another yellow or just another Asscher. It's something that's nearly impossible because you need an extraordinary rough, you need an extraordinary intensity to create a stone like that. And the Asscher, as you know, has been a very, very popular cut since day one. That was my very first ring. And what I think people have really resonated with, you see that cross that goes towards the center, it's the depth of the stone. The Asscher is a very deep step cut that draws your eyes inside and brings and creates a lot of luster. It has a lot of layers, if you will, of faceting that brings you deep inside the stone and create a very unique array of luster. So that's why I love about it. And then I did this halo with the little marquise in the corner. I don't know if you see that detail. It's not just rounds, it's also little marquise in the corners so that we follow the line of the center stone and create a really subtle and gentle halo for a really well-finished piece. And if you look at the side of the ring now, you will see that there is another detail on the other side where there is a little cluster of stones, 3 stones. 1, 2, 3, that create another additional floral motif on the side. So again, every angle you can possibly consider that ring from, it has a very unique story. It's an extraordinarily rare center stone, and the piece is complete.
Look at that. And I will tell you too, I mean, we had this appraised as we do all of the pieces, sent this out. The lowest appraised price was $201. We were gonna do it at $129, but today it's $89.90. $89.90. So that means we took $40 off of this beautiful piece. And then on top of that, to do FlexPay and the additional FlexPay if you use your HSN charge card. And we'd love to hear from you. So if you're shopping with us today, you can say hi to us. There's our phone number. It's 1-866-376-8255. We want to know what you love about Jean's pieces. I love, and I know you do too, Jean, reading reviews on hsn.com because people are so passionate. I think once they get the first piece, they're back for more. They watch every time you're here to build that collection because he really is your designer, your fine jeweler. You know, you read about in the magazines, and most recently he made an engagement ring for a very, very popular person that actually does TV like the entertainment. Yeah, the entertainment. I'm trying to say it without saying it. And she's so pretty. But anyway, and she has double initials. So, so anyway, the point is, He is chosen and selected by people who could have anybody in the industry make their rings, and they go to him because of beautiful details like this. But now he is your custom jeweler, your fine jeweler. And this looks like you made that one of a kind for us, doesn't it?
This would be, every piece that we present would be, is in my mind, in my imagination, is a one-of-a-kind item. That stone is one of a kind. If we're speaking about the experience, about fine jewelry, about the world of diamonds, then we need to look at this diamond, as I just described, as one of a kind, because it truly is. There wouldn't be another one. You couldn't say, well, can I see two of them? That does not exist. So we would buy that stone. It's one. There's only one. And then we create a mounting that stands to project the best possible beauty of the stone to the world. And that's exactly how you should wear it. That's exactly how you should experience it. And I'm also very happy tonight to see that we've priced everything really well.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, guess what sold out? The big emerald cut ring is officially gone.